Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I know I've been on an extended hiatus, so just after starting YouTube last year, but I'm back in the saddle. Also, make sure you check out my other two channels, The Good Steward and Fishers of Men. So today I wanted to take a deep dive into a topic that's been making headlines and stirring debates across the nation. President Donald Trump's recent announcement of sweeping tariffs on imported goods. So let's look at the specifics of these tariffs, their potential impacts on local communities, and the broader implications for the national economy. But first, what I want to do is let's make sure everyone knows what a tariff is. A tariff is a levy or tax on imported goods. The government charges a fee when a product arrives to our border, whether that's the east, west, or southern ports. It must be paid before it becomes a domestic product. On April 2nd, 2025, President Trump declared a national emergency to implement what he termed the Declaration of Economic Independence, or also he has coined it Liberation Day. This initiative introduces a baseline tariff of 10% on nearly all imported goods, with higher reciprocal tariffs targeting specific countries based on their trade practices. What this really means is the worst offenders will be getting charged the reciprocal tariffs since their trade practices are extremely unfair. So, for instance, the European Union faces a 20% tariff, Japan 24%, and Israel 17%. The greatest offender in this case would be China. They'll be hit with a 34% tariff on top of the 20% from earlier this year. So in total, that's 54%. Now, keep in mind, China is essentially our largest trading partner. Think of what this could do or could not do, depending on which side of the fence you're standing on. Trump's rationale is to bolster domestic manufacturing, reduce trade deficits, and encourage companies to relocate production back to the United States. Here in the U.S., we have been running a trade deficit since the 1970s. Now, to be clear, American companies are the ones footing the bill when it comes to tariffs. Now, they may be able to negotiate the shipping prices since they are being taxed, but if not, the cost will ultimately be passed down to the consumer. So let me paint a picture for you here. If Nike, who is the BCO, which is the acronym for beneficial cargo owner, pays XYZ shipping to handle logistics of their product from China to LA, Nike's on the hook for the bill. Trump's tariffs aim to keep Nike manufacturing in the U.S., circumventing China overall, and to avoid paying the tax. I hope that kind of paints a clear picture for you. Now, obviously, this announcement had an immediate impact on financial markets. U.S. stock markets experienced significant declines in after-hours trading, reflecting investor concerns about potential economic repercussions. Experts warn that these tariffs could lead to increased costs for American consumers and businesses, potentially triggering inflationary pressures. Now, at the community level, the effects of these tariffs could be significant. Take Hartford, Connecticut, for example. Local businesses there have already reported sales declining due to previous tariffs. Some restaurants have seen a 50% drop in sales, while grocery stores report up a 35% decrease. The new tariffs are expected to exacerbate these challenges, leading to higher prices for consumers and increased operational costs for businesses. Governor Ned Lamont of Connecticut has expressed concerns that these measures could add $100 to $200 in monthly expenses for consumers, further straining households' budgets. I live in Pennsylvania, and China, Mexico, and Canada is our biggest trading partner, accounting for $60 billion in bilateral trade. So just imagine some of the effects this could have to local markets. Now, on a national scale, the tariffs could have mixed outcomes. Trump could be using tariffs as a negotiation tactic that will incentivize domestic production and job creation. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the tariffs should be looked at as a sales tax, encouraging consumers to choose American-made products. Despite all this, many economists and industry leaders are kind of skeptical. They caution these tariffs could lead to higher production costs, reduce consumer spending, and potential retaliatory measures from trading partners, which Trump already said he would increase the tariffs if a country tried to retaliate. These dynamics could slow economic growth and increase inflation. So whichever side you're leaning towards, whether that's for or against tariffs, this does represent a huge shift in U.S. trade policy. So thanks for joining in. Feel free to reach out, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, everyone.